Welcome to part 2 of understanding place value to add and subtract. The first video dealt with being able to add a 2-digit number plus a 1-digit number without regrouping. In this video, we'll focus on adding a 2-digit number plus a 1-digit with regrouping. So you can see here, if you did not watch the first video, please make sure you go back and watch this so that a lot of this will make sense to you. But you see we have a hundreds chart and we have represented 57 plus 5. And so I want to, I have represented 57. I want to add 5. So I have 5 here, and I want to really help my students understand how I can decompose this. I can see that I am 3 away from 60, so I can decompose 5 into 3 and 2. So if I add my 3 there, that takes me to 60, and then I add on my other 2, so that I have 57 plus 5, which is 62. Now, as I move over here, looking at it with tens and ones, and I've got, you can see I have 5 tens and 7 ones, which is 57, and I want to add 5 ones. Once again, just like before, I've got my set of 5 here. I can realize that within thinking of this as a 10 frame, that I would need 3 more to make a 10. So I could break these apart, and then I would have 2 more. So then students, you would want them to realize that this is a group of 10 that I can exchange to give me a sum of 62. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 62. Now, as they understand that 10ness and they understand that 10 ones make a 10, you can move to base 10 blocks. You can see we have 57 represented, and I'm going to add 5. Once again, I only need 3 more to make a 10 because I know 7 plus 3 is 10, and then I have 2 additional ones there. We would want students to recognize that we can exchange these 10 ones for a 10. That's where students a lot of times get lost, is in the exchange. A lot of times they'll take these away, but they don't add it as a 10. And so really watch out for that and make sure your students do that, because then they will get the incorrect answer. So the sum should be 62, not 52. As we move over and model this with the 10 frames, you can see we have represented 57. All right, we want to add on 5 ones. So I find my 5 ones, and at this point we would hope students begin to realize that I only need 3 more of these to complete this 10 frame. So when I think about that, then that would give me 10, and then I would have, if I use 3 of these, I'd have 2 more left over. And so then we would want them to see that that would give me a sum of 62. I could also think of it as 5 tens and 12 ones, but as well as 6 tens and 2 ones. So now as we move to pictorial, that was pictorial, but this is pictorial 2, where the students actually draw it themselves. So if I want to represent 57, I would draw 5 tens. I'm going to keep these in kind of a 10 frame organization, and I want to add on 5 ones. We would hope that students can think of 5 as a 3 and 2, because I can add 3 more on here to give me a set of 10, and then I have 2 here. So we want them to recognize that this would need to move over here to give me a set of 10, and so once I do that, then I'd have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 62. Once again, that's where they make a mistake a lot of times. They'll take these away, but they don't add it over there, so watch out for that. We want to make sure that students not only see it written horizontally, but also vertically. And so once again, this is not where we want students just saying 7 plus 5 is 12 and I carry a 1. That is not what we're doing. We really want to go back and think about how I could decompose this 5 into a 3 and a 2, and I know that gives me 10. And so I would have 5 tens and then 7 ones. And if I add on my 3, that gives me a set of 10 there. And then I'd still have those 2 ones left over, which would give me a sum of 62. Some students may be able to think of a hundreds chart and think about 57. They know that 5 can be decomposed into 3 and 2. If they know that I'm only 3 away from 60, that takes me to 60 plus 2 more is 62.